Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Hare Krishna. Through this comparative discussion of Gita, Sri Bhagavan has established the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who delivers the people in the age of Kali Yuga, along with his dear associates he incarnated, has shown the path to search for the most worshipful absolute truth. They have also shown the pinnacle of sadhana bhajan. In this way, they have bestowed incalculable benefit upon us, which cannot be calculated or which cannot be compared with anything in this world. The mercy they bestowed for our benefit. This is the causeless, heartfelt compassion upon all living entities by Sriman Mahaprabhu. Throughout the entire world, their conception is therefore supported by all the intellects and scholars. So, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, at that time the supremely compassionate Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chandra gave the instruction of Srimad Bhagavad Gita to his dear associate and dear friend Arjun for the benefit of entire living entities of the world, of the universe that ever existed. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is an investigation into the essential import of all Ved, is crest jewel of all Upanishad. This book describes the mutual relationship between the process of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and so on, and finally expounds the pure Hari Bhakti as the supreme goal of living entities. Karma Yoga, the path of spiritual advancement, where the fruit of one's all pious actions are offered as an offering to Lord. Jnana Yoga, the path of spiritual advancement through transcendental knowledge. And Bhakti Yoga, the path of loving devotion to Supreme Lord, are not actually different systems, but they are simply the first, second and third steps of one yoga process. All these are part of one yoga process. Furthermore, in other session, we will discuss in detail about this Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and their connection with one another, interrelation with one another. Here we go with the first stage of that complete yoga is called Karma Yoga. The second is Jnana Yoga, and the final stage or the third is Bhakti Yoga. The Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, etc., they are completely actually the devotional literatures. They elaborately describe karma, jnana, mukti and attainment of Brahma, etc., but then comparatively deliberate on them, and ultimately all these scriptures established Shuddha Bhakti as the supreme. So, the readers of Srimad Bhagavad Gita can be divided into two categories basically. Those possessed of gross or superficial understanding, it is called Stula Darshi, and the readers who possess of fine discrimination called Sukshma Darshi. The first type this among two, the first type of Stuladarshi, their conclusions are based exclusively on the external meaning of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Gita's statement, like we have like very common understanding of this slok from Bhagavad Gita, which says that you do your job, but don't have that expectation of fruit. So this is Sthuladarshi. They understand or they make conclusion based exclusively on external meanings of any slok from Bhagavad Gita, any statement from Bhagavad Gita. From this slok, all of us we know, we derive very conclusion saying, you do your work but don't expect for result, something like that we derive conclusion. This is actually Sthuladarshi. We are just deriving meaning of external, we are deriving external meanings of statement. The second type, however, the Sushmadarshi, they are not satisfied with only the external meaning and inquires into the deep fundamental purport. The external or this Sthuladarshi read the Gita from beginning to end and conclude that it established karma, because after hearing the entire this Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna understand that to fight is beneficial, and in one sense it is correct. But the Sushmadarshis, I am not saying that Sthuladarshis they are incorrect, they are correct, but that is not the deep understanding or the Sukshma understanding. The Sukshmadarshis, however, are not satisfied with such a shallow conclusion. What I am saying is, they determine either knowledge of the impersonal aspect of the Lord, impersonal aspect of the Lord, Brahma Gyan, or transcendental devotion, Para Bhakti, which is also called Para Bhakti, to be the aim of the Gita, and say that Arjuna engaging in battle is simply an example of adhering to one's own level of eligibility. But this is not the highest essence of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. A man's nature determines his qualification to engage in work. Prescribed duty is also called a yajna. As he maintains his life accordingly, he gradually obtains knowledge of the truth. Unless a person performs some work, he will have difficulty maintaining himself, and without maintaining this body, without maintaining even himself, it will be difficult for anyone to ponder the truth, to explore the truth. Therefore, in the primary stage, it is necessary to properly execute one's prescribed duty, that is in accordance with one's varna and one's ashram, or the stages and situations of life. It is important to know here that of all virtuous actions, of all karma, the Gita only accepts selflessly performed action that is offered to offering as offering to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Such karma gradually purifies the heart and bestows knowledge of the truth. So then through the performance of devotion, through the performance of a bhakti yoga, Bhagavan is finally attained. In order to understand Srimad Bhagavad Gita's purport and ultimate subject, one must follow the instruction of the person who spoke it, or the Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He is referred to as Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, on each and every page of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Out of his causeless mercy, throughout the Gita, throughout the entire Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna declares himself to be Bhagavan, the Supreme Absolute Truth. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhadante mam bodha bhava samanvitah. Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter 8th slok, I am the source of both mundanes, we should understand, he says I am the source of both mundanes and spiritual world. Everything emanates from me. The wise who knows this well engage in bhajan, in sadhana, in spiritual practice with ecstasy in their hearts. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya maye sarvam idam prottam shutre mani gana iva. It says in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter 7th slok, O conqueror of all wealth, O Dhananjay, there is nothing superior to me. This world, this whole creation is dependent on me, just as the jewels strung on the thread are dependent on that thread. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhur eva cha natu mam abhijananti. It says in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter 24th slok, I am only master and enjoyer of aham sarvasya prabhavo matta. I am only master and enjoyer of all sacrifice, but those who do not recognize my transcendental body fall down and repeatedly wander in the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. Many all other scriptures also state Bhagavan Sri Krishna to be Swayam Bhagavan as supporting Gita. Many scriptures. Ete cham sakala pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam supports this statement from Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuranam, supports first canto 3rd chapter 20th slok, supports the supremacy of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, all avatar being with beginning with first it explains about all 24 different incarnations, and at last it says all these incarnations are the part and parcels, or part and the parts of the Supreme Person Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Ete chaha amsha kalaha, all these are amsha and kala, part and parcels of the Supreme Bhagavan. However, Bhagavan Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Brahma Samhita says Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Satchid Ananda Vigraha. The Supreme Lord Ishwaraha, Ishwara Paramaha Krishna, Paramaha Ishwara is Krishna, his form is Satchid Ananda Vigraha, eternal, all knowing and blissful. This is important to know in this regard that Bhagavan Sri Krishna's various incarnations, none have actually revealed their godliness or Bhagavat Tattva. In Gita, however, Bhagavan Sri Krishna clearly makes known his position as the Supreme Lord and defines surrender and bhakti to him as the supreme spiritual practice or sadhana for all living entities. In any other incarnation, none of his incarnations has established that supremacy, but in Gita, Krishna established that supremacy, that truth, that fact. Through the principle of a Trishatya and what thrice affirmed, Sri Krishna establishes his own godliness and defines devotion to him as the only and the topmost spiritual practice and goal also. He established the truth that devotion towards Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chandra is topmost spiritual practice. It's the topmost sadhana and the sadhya also, the goal also. He does this with the word mam eva, mamai eva, mam eva, to me, in the verse mam eva e prapadyante, surrender only to me. Gita 7th chapter 24, with the word used here mam eva, to me, in the verse tepi mam eva kaunteya. There are many places where this word mam eva is being used in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 23rd verse, te api mam eva kaunteya, they worship only me. Te api mam eva, eva means only. And with the words mam ekam, to me alone, in the verse mam ekam saranam braja, surrender exclusively to me. Gita 18th chapter 66 slok. Moreover, not only Sri Krishna but even great sages and perfected souls such as Devarshi Narad, Ashita, Devala, Vyas, etc. confirms this truth, and Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita itself too accepts it from the very beginning. Therefore, anyone who reads or listens to the Gita will approach the supreme truth in a mode of acceptance, free from the slightest doubt that the speaker of the Gita, Sri Krishna, is the original supreme personality of Godhead. Each and every one of his teachings are completely true. Bhagavan Sri Krishna has told Arjuna in the verse Bhaktoshi me Sakha cheti rashyam etat uttamam. 4th chapter, it comes in 4th chapter. The Gita is eternal. At first, billions of years ago, I gave this instruction to son Vyaswan. Vyaswan gave them to Manu, and Manu gave them to his offspring, his son Ichhaku. The system of yoga thus remain in the world through the disciplic succession is called Guru Parampara. But that Parampara disappeared, or that disciplic succession broke with the passing of time. So Krishna says to Arjuna, you are my exclusive devotee, my dear friend, and my dear direct disciple. I am therefore bestowing this supreme secret upon you. So it is in fact impossible to comprehend the profound truth or the secrets of Bhagavad Gita without being a devotee, for throughout this scripture it is declared that its import cannot be grasped without bhakti. Bhaktya tvam bhaktya to ananya shakyaham evam vidho Arjuna. It is only through exclusive devotion that my form can actually be seen, as Bhagavan Krishna says in 11th chapter. The Gita has been spoken only for the devotees of Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chandra. This is what it means by the statement idam te na tapascaya na bhaktaya kadachana. You should never explain this Bhagavad Gita to anyone whose senses are uncontrolled, who is non-devotee, or who don't have that firm faith, who is devoid of serving mood, or who is envious of me. 18th chapter 67th slok, Bhagavan Krishna explains this. So the Gita describes three kind of sadhak or practitioners of particular discipline. They are the Jnani, the Yogi and the Bhakta. In the Gita, the word Jnani and Yogi does not refer to any impersonalist who maintain that absolute truth is unmanifest, featureless or formless or devoid of potency, etc. But rather they refer to Jnani and Yogi who are endowed with bhakti. In Gita 7th chapter 19th slok, Bhagavan Sri Krishna mentions bahunam janma namante jnanavanma prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. The true Jnani is one who understand the supremacies of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Vasudevam sarvam iti. Vasudeva is sarvam, everything, or is supreme, and who is surrendered unto me and who has pure devotion for him. Such a great soul is very rare. It says Sudurlabha. Durlabha means rare and Sudurlabha means very rare. His definition of yogi in chapter 6 of 47 slok explains yoginam api sarvesham mad gaterantaratmanah. He who constantly worships me with full faith, always thinking exclusively of me within, is, in my opinion, the topmost of all yogi. Therefore, a person who is devoid of bhakti is never eligible to understand or to grasp the real essence of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. If he is not eligible, even in fact he is not even eligible to study or read it, then how a person can understand its import or its essence? It is necessary to surrender to Sri Krishna's lotus feet with the knowledge that he is Swayam Bhagavan, and to hear the truth of Gita from the mouth of great devotee in a true Guru Parampara, or the disciplic succession who has seen the truth. Unless a person does this, he will not be able to understand the purpose of Gita or the true import of Gita. According to Srimad Bhagavad Gita itself, Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chandra, who possesses all majesty, all sweetness, Aishwarya and Madhurya. Aishwarya means majesty and sweetness. Madhurya is the supreme object of worship of the living entities, and bhakti, which attracts him, attracts Bhagavan Sri Krishna towards bhakta, is the supreme process and goal. Nevertheless, because ignorant people consider this gross body as me, as I, and objects related to this body as mine, so they remain cheated of their true constitutional nature. They are therefore incapable of correctly understanding the essential truth of devotional service. Because of their gross intelligence, they consider mundane fruitive activity like karma and the karma and such things the only reality, and because of their ignorance they remain engrossed in those material activities. They consequently fall into the clutches of monism or the Mayavad. Bhagavan Sri Krishna inspired Arjuna to raise the topics of these types of mundane religiosity. He then established both their insignificance and the supreme eminence of bhakti. Of the 18 chapters, among the 18 chapters of Gita, the first 6 establish the unique features of Karma Yoga. The last 6th chapter features the Jnana Yoga, and the middle 6 chapters the prominent features of Bhakti Yoga. Thus, Bhakti remains situated in the center and gives shelter to Karma and Jnana. This is because Karma and Jnana Yoga are incapable of bestowing any result without the assistance of Bhakti Devi or the devotional service. So, altogether from all these Jnana, Karma, Bhakti, or the all process of yoga described in Bhagavad Gita, we can conclude that Jnana and Karma are actually based, or they are actually incapable of bestowing any result in themselves, by themselves. So, they are dependent upon Bhakti to give the desired success, or to bestow the real success, real bliss of life. Hence, Bhagavad Gita in first 6 chapters establish the process of Karma Yoga, and last 6 chapters establish the process of Jnana Yoga, and in the middle 6 chapters establish the supremacy of Bhakti supporting this Karma Marga and Jnana Marga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.